G'day guys, and welcome back to another Monday marathon. We've got another pile of e-waste from the charity shop to sort out. I'm Chris. I consider myself the ultimate recycler, and I want to keep as much of this as I can in circulation. Now, there's no one at the charity shop, or as we call them in Australia, op shops, short for opportunity shop. It's staffed by volunteers, and there's no one there that's remotely interested in getting qualifications to test electrical stuff. And they find it easier. Well, if it wasn't for me, they would take it out to the transfer station, lock, stock and barrel, just as e-waste, where none of it would be back in circulation. It would all be, I don't know, recycled to a degree. I don't know how much actually gets saved. So I'd prefer to keep it alive in people's houses, keep it useful. And we've got a bit of a mixed assortment this week, not a great deal. I always, as well, each week try and find something that I can buy, actually spend some of my hard-earned cash and flip it to make a profit, because after all, I am a second-hand dealer. Pickings are a bit slim this week, but I did find this red, I don't know, what you'd call it, a baking pot, something like that, cookware, fry pan with a lid. I'm not sure. It's not super heavy. I'd suspect it's like a cast aluminium. It's branded Crofton, which possibly could even be an Aldi brand, but it does look near new, and it was only $2. I reckon I can get 10 for that. It's got that retro sort of theme or styling, and it's, yeah, as I said, it's near new. There's no scratches or anything to the Teflon, so we should get $10 for that. The rest of it, I'll adjust the camera and we'll have a look at what we got. As usual, we'll go through stuff, give it a test, make sure it's able to be sold, make sure it's safe, and at the end, for those new to the channel, I get my notepad out. We have a bit of a list of the potential return we could get and how much we keep in circulation. So this is has the box. It's a hurricane spin scrubber. So whilst I doubt that it would flatten entire suburbs and have a massive storm surge, I reckon it probably would be handy for reaching up high on the perhaps windows or under the eaves or something. I don't think they have a very powerful motor. I think powerful is a bit of a stretch. What's it say here? It's cordless and rechargeable, interchangeable heads. I don't know if we've got any other heads with it. Single charge lasts up to 60 minutes. Powerful 300 RPM cleaning action. Well, I guess it's all relative, isn't it? Perhaps if you were cleaning your teeth with it, it would be powerful. It looks like there's some sort of liquid dispenser at the top. I'm not sure. It has a little, oh no, maybe not. It's just got a little input plug there for the charger. So yeah, okay. Well, we'll give it a test, and it looks clean enough. We should be able to sell it. I don't expect it's worth much. I think it was probably one of those things that was sold through TV infomercials, late night marketing. Here we have a heater, Gold Air. It looks like it oscillates on the base. Filter looks a bit dirty there. It's possibly a ceramic heater. It's got a date code of 0416, so it's 9 years old or so. Looks clean. Well, it doesn't look very clean. It looks quite filthy, but it looks neat enough. Doesn't appear to be damaged. So it's got a safety switch underneath. We will test that. It's the right time of the year in Australia to sell heaters. It's been quite chilly lately. So hopefully that tests all right, and we'll clean that up. We're not sure what we'll get for that. We have well, this is one of those foot spas, but in it we have, there's a remote control and a charger for something, perhaps something that's in here. This is a LED desk light. So it's quite modern and low voltage by the looks of the wiring, so that's cool. I don't know, it's got a transformer on it. Electric LED converter. Alright, so that looks to be in good condition. It most likely will work, so we should be able to get something to sell there. Let's move that out of the road a little bit. What's this, a clock radio? I think it is. Sonic. It's also a charging dock for an older phone, perhaps an iPhone. But it'd be an AM FM radio as well. So it's not going to get a great deal. But if the clock works, the radio works, we'll give it a bit of a quick clean up. We might only put $5 on it. And that's really all we've got, other than the foot spa thing here, which I have a lot of trouble selling these. I've had lots of them over the years, and they're not really fast sellers. This is a Breville, and it does look to be in good condition. Is it the tag for it? Hydro Spa. So maybe it's hardly ever been used. The tag's still in here. So we'll give that a test. It looks like we have the books for it. There we go, Hydro Spa. Lots of books. I still don't know what that's for. Unless that's, oh, that might be for the clock radio. Okay. And the last thing here is a kitchen appliance, an electric griddle plate or grill. It's Breville again. Euro Table Health Grill. All right, it looks like it doesn't have a flat cooking plate. It just has the grill. Oh, it's broken this end. The handle's broken. That's a shame. And it's extremely dirty underneath. We've got, looks like years of baked on gunk. So it's been well used. If the casing wasn't broken, I would still probably try and sell it because the Teflon doesn't look all scratched up. No, it is a bit. Okay, I think that's a bit too far gone to sell. The cord and the charge, oh, that's got a little crack in it. So, okay, this is going to be scrap. A little bit of foil. The base is just plastic, I think. So we're probably just going to get iron aluminium out of that. Sometimes you can get the elements out of here. This one looks like it'll be a bit of a nightmare. We might have a look at that a bit better later in the video. But that one's just going to be a scrap item. All right, I'll make some room here. We'll start plugging things in. Okay, back to this scrubber. I just had a look online. You can buy them new, and there's lots of different brands and similar styles for around about $30 online. I did notice that that comes off, and this comes off, so you can have it without the extension, so it's a much shorter scrubber. I don't have a charger for it. It tells me in the end here that it needs a 8.5 volt charger, so a 9 volt charger will be fine. I'll have one at the shop, but I did accidentally press the button when I wasn't ready, and there we go, it goes. So there we go. Actually, it has got a bit of torque, I've got to say. Oh, it's losing a few of the bristles. Let's see if the other, you can buy, I didn't notice you could buy replacement brush kits online for about $13. I forget if there was postage with it. What have we got in the box? Oh yeah, there's some other heads. And what's that? Maybe just a bag to keep the heads in. In fact, I might, oh no, I'll leave it all together. In fact, I might even disassemble it and put it back in the box. Because they're new for about $30, this one obviously works. I'll have to find a charger for it. It's okay, otherwise it's not damaged. I'm going to try $10 because it's got all the bits, and I'll throw in a 9 volt charger with it, make sure it charges up okay. So $10, we'll see how we go. So I might just put this back in where it goes. I've got to take all the heads off. How do they come off? Oh, they just pull off, okay. So that goes there, the extension goes there, and the heads. Beautiful, there we go. And the bag, oh, that's where the charger went. All right, so I'll take that to the shop. I'll try and get $10 for that, but it doesn't really need any. Oh, we've got this extension. That goes over here. There we go, complete kit, Nelly. So cross my fingers, I think we'll get 10 for that. Next is this little Sonic clock radio, iPhone, iPad dock, and that's branded Sonic, so that must be the remote for it. This must be the charger. 9 volts, 2 amps. We'll just check that in case they've been mixed up. Yep, 9 volts in. So we'll see if this goes. Power on. Welcome to digital radio. So it is a digital radio, okay. And how do we get it to play?
Market, because our production is counter-seasonal to that.
So that appears to be working okay, at least the radio does. The antenna's a little wobbly. I think it's just quite cheap. I didn't worry about working out how to set the clock, but the radio works. So if nothing else, the radio with the remote control, got to be worth $5. I'm just going to give it a quick clean up. I don't think it's worth much more than that because it's older, with the iPod dock not suiting any modern phones. And as I said, the antennas doesn't seem the best. I think it's been bent and reshaped a few times. But we'll call that $5. I think it's better than throwing it out. So let's move on to the next item, which is this LED desk lamp, quite modern styling. And it has a little LED controller here. The cord looks okay. Let's plug it in. And we have a switch somewhere, do we? No switch in line. How do we turn it on? Oh, there's a switch under here. Oh, is that on? It's on, but it's very dim. What's going on with that? I don't know that we have a controller. Well, actually, this is called a controller, a converter. But we don't have any brightness control. So something's going on with that. Maybe the LEDs are shot. Okay. That's all loose at the bottom too. The screw's loose. We could probably tighten that up. And there's definitely no other controls other than one on-off switch, which really doesn't give us much illumination. So I think this one might be scrap. We've got a piece of aluminium up the stem here. I guess we could salvage that. Let's just check that we do have 12 volts coming out of this thing. If it's a low voltage issue, perhaps that's why the LEDs are dim. Okay, I'm not sure which is negative or positive. It doesn't really matter. The meter will tell us which way it is. We have 11.6, 11.7, so that's close enough to 12. That should actually power the LEDs much brighter than what they are. So there's obviously a fault in the lamp. I wonder if it's worth taking apart and having a look. And of course it's worth taking apart and having a look. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. We'll always have a look at seeing if we can fix something before we scrap it or throw it out. Anyway, we'll get to that soon. I'm now moved on to this heater. We'll test this. It's plugged into the appliance tester. Powered on. Now, where's our... do we have a main switch somewhere? On the back here. Here we go. Righto. It's alive. Mode. Is that a switch? Where are the switches? A touch panel? That panel's loose, actually. Something's either broken or come loose on that corner. Oh, so they are touch switches. That's what? Set for 16 degrees. Maybe that's just the on button, is it? Doesn't actually say. That changes our temperature. Is that heat? Yeah, that's heating. Okay. Oh, 16 must be the temperature of my shed. That would probably be about right. I've got the fire going and it's hasn't been going all day and it's just been lit about 2 hours ago. It's probably about 16 in here. It's quite cold outside. That's warming well. So that's the temperature we want it to warm to, assuming the thermostat works. We'll see if it oscillates while we're waiting. Yes, excellent. It's still quite warm. I think the airflow would be improved by cleaning the filter behind it. I'll turn the oscillator off. Not sure what mode does. Oh, is that high? That's probably just fan, is it? So I think that's high. I think it's two position heat and one position just fan. That certainly seems hotter. I might leave it on for a bit and see if it clicks out, but that's working great. So really it just needs a clean up. It's quite dirty under the heater because it obviously hasn't oscillated for a long time. There's a timer function as well, which looks like that's going to work. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Goes up to about 9. Alright, so we'll leave the timer on for now. We'll see if it clicks out when it gets a bit warmer in here, but that's working well. So all it really needs is a clean, and maybe just see why this panel at the top's a bit loose. The last thing to test this week is this Breville Body Zone foot spa. It's got some booklets here. Oh, that's for the radio. That's the Sonic radio iPhone, iPad dock instructions. So a bit rough, but we might as well include that. That's, I think, just a catalogue. You can go in the recycle bin. We don't need the warranty guarantee thing. We'll keep the instruction book with it. I was looking at this and I don't think it's ever been used. I think it's absolutely brand new. Given that it's got the tag here with the little stretchy, or the tie on it, that was in here, I think it's brand new. It's got all the little different fittings. You can change from just the spiky ones to the spiky ones with rollers. They obviously just replace, or different size ones. Okay. And there's a, what's that, just little clips or something. So yeah, I'm not going to put water in it. I think it's absolutely brand new. I will plug it in to make sure it seems to come alive and actually is going to do something, but I'm pretty sure it's new. So let's power it up. And obviously, I guess with water it bubbles away or something. I'm not going to fill it up. But what do we got? All right, the pump's working. Oh, vibration's working. And vibration with warmth. So that's all working fine. All right, I'm probably just going to put $10 on this. As I said earlier in this video, I've had trouble selling these over the years, but this one's probably the best I've ever had, given that it's pretty much new with instructions. And if we look underneath, let me take those out for a tick. It's not dirty at all. It's absolutely brand new. Well, it's as new, let's just say. So there we go. That works fine. No issues with my appliance tester. It's double insulated, so there's no earth to check. And we'll try for $10 on that one with all the fittings. So we don't have to do anything with this. We don't even need to clean it, which is good. But I'll now get back to the heater, and then we'll have a look at that LED desk light and find out what's going on with that. And what else we've got to do after that? Maybe scrap out that grill. Everything else I think is pretty well right to go. Okay, back to this heater because it's the largest thing on the bench and I need to get it out of here. I'm looking at this filter and thinking no one has ever cleaned this from new, which isn't uncommon really on most things with filters. How does that come out? There we go. So it's not really much of a filter, it's just a bit of foam that's quite a coarse opening actually, not fine, but look at that. So that has never been cleaned. That's got to be restricting the airflow a bit. So I'll give that a brush off. I'm going to take it apart because I want to see what's going on with that front panel. I can't really sell it when something's pushing in like that. Hopefully it's well, it might be a broken clip or something. It looks like there's a selection of screws around the edge, probably will allow me to take the front cover off. Then we can perhaps blow out any dust from inside it. These heaters do really need a service because lots of dust and fluff get through the filter. And they can really start fires, I guess, eventually if they build up enough, like clothes dryers can. Well, that would have been quicker to use the drill, but it's on the charger at the moment. Right, what comes off? There's screws into the back as well, but I was thinking the front cover might come off somehow. Okay, I'm going to take the back ones out as well, just in case it's the back cover that comes off. Now, does that help? Seems like there's something else holding it. Maybe we need to take the bottom off. The oscillator base might have to come off first. Okay, where does that get us now? Alright, so hello, we have something broken in here. A screw, that's part of the mount from the base into the main heater. So that's not good. I guess we'll take the other one off now. There's a weight in here, so that gives the heater some stability. There's the other one. Alright, so we could probably glue that back on, I think. Oh yes, well there's another screw in here to get the cover off, so that was well hidden. Now it's going to come apart. Which way happens? Does the front come off? No, the back comes off. Okay, there we go, it's apart. Look at the dust in here. Plenty of it, so it certainly needed to clean out. So it has like a radiator set up in here. I think that's a ceramic heater element. There's a control board. All the electronics work fine, we know that. Really just needs a clean out. We have to fix one of these mounts on the bottom now. We know one's broken. So we should be able to glue that back together okay. There's a fair surface area of plastic to glue. And we need to work out why this top panel's loose. And yeah, there's a broken mount here on this screw. I think I can glue that one as well. Let's take that out and have a look. I'll have to take the whole panel out actually. Okay, so here's the little section that's broken off. You can see the piece of plastic there. Let's stay in focus please. We'll use a screwdriver. So that's the piece that had broken off. There's a fair bit of depth to that post still, so you can see the screws now stuck to the screwdriver. I reckon I can get a slightly longer screw in there anyway. It will bite into the bottom plastic a bit better as long as it doesn't obviously punch through the front of the panel. So I'll glue that little piece on, and I will use a longer self-tapper screw, and that should secure the panel. The other piece is over here, and that has quite a large surface area to glue back on to the bottom of the section here. Where was it? In here. It's underneath here. Yeah, so that's the oscillator section. It was still working fine. I didn't really even notice one of those was broken, so I think we'll be able to glue those back together. Then I'll give it a really good clean out with the air compressor and put it back together. We should be good as new. I've repaired the top panel successfully. Just looking at this, I was about to glue the piece on here and I noticed the other one's actually cracked. So it must be a weak point in these. Really, there's only 2 screws through those plastic mouldings that hold the entire heater onto the base, and it has to oscillate back and forward. So I'll glue that one, at least the piece is still there. I'll glue that one back into place. Good surface area to get this one attached again. Maybe I could use slightly longer screws again here, just to give it a bit more bite. It worked quite well on the other piece. And then we'll put it together. We'll have to make sure that the oscillator motor here drops into this slot to allow it to turn back and forward. But that should be easy enough to get organised. Okay, mission successful. It's working beautifully and oscillating smoothly, and it's securely attached. I did have a bit of a hiccup. I had to, what did I do? I upsized the screws. So that was an original screw, and I've gone quite a lot longer, so it had lots more fresh plastic to bite into. It didn't actually matter. I don't think it pushed through the casing, but it wouldn't have mattered because it would just be inside the cavity. However, screwing the screw through the pieces I glued just cracked them open again. So that wasn't going to work. I had to get my trusty Dremel out with a little grinding disc, and I cut the plastic cracked pieces off flush, and then I found a couple of good sturdy bushes. That's why I keep all this stuff, and that's why people buy it, because it's always handy. There's another one similar to what I used. So it's now bushed, and the screws go right into the casing, nice and solid. I did have to make an adjustment on the little oscillating motor mount because these screw heads were a little bit larger, or didn't quite screw in as far, and it meant the motor on one side was hitting, and so the oscillation was a little bit jumpy on one side. So I just spaced the motor down just about 1 millimeter with a couple of little washers out of my other jar of hardware I've got here, and fixed. Beautiful, runs really nice and smoothly, and it looks like it actually has just reached temperature, 17 degrees now in the shed. So that was almost a standalone repair video, but we got it fixed for this one. Now next is that lamp. Time now to revisit this lamp. So we're going to take the top section apart. I'm not hopeful of actually finding what's going on, but you never know. It is always worth a look. Quite a lot of screws around here, so we'll be back with you shortly. So that's the last screw out of there. I don't know if it's going to come off this post or not. What have we got in here? Just a big LED board. There's no circuitry at all. Well, there must be a fault with the LED, surely. I guess we better check, see if we've got 12 volts up here. Well, that unplugs. So there we go. A little board. I could try my power supply on that. It says DC 12 volts. Has a negative and positive terminal. I guess I'll just try my power supply on that and see if it goes any brighter. I have my power supply on 12 volts and I just had a quick go at this before I turned the camera on, and I accidentally blew one of the diodes. So I can see one now actually has a dark spot in it. I'm not sure if you can see that. But I put 12 volts on it and it was no brighter, so it wasn't any good really. And I'm not sure why. I'm thinking maybe these LEDs do reduce power or wear out or something. I know they're the older style LEDs than what you find in modern or current LED lamps, but let's just put this on again. I can go straight to there, and this side is negative. I'll swing around this way. I'll get my hand out of the road. So there we go, that's 12 volts. Now that should be dazzling, but it's quite dim. Doesn't even really make the camera adjust much to the light level. And you can see that the one now is blown. You can see the second one in on the negative side is blown. And what I was doing is I was just touching on this side just to make sure there was no breaks to the copper tracks, because I can get it to glow from there. But I accidentally touched one on this side, so it put full 12 volts through one diode, so it obviously didn't like that. So this is no good. I'm just going to scrap it out. I don't know that these diodes are worth saving for anything. I really haven't ever had a use for one. And if I do need some, I might just buy some more. So I can just go to Ewaste. We'll get some aluminium out of the rest of the lamp and a little bit of wiring. So we've switched into scrapping mode. What did we get out of this lamp? Well, not a great deal. Some aluminium, very light pieces, a bit of plastic, some wire, nice hardware, some decent springs. That's a nice spring. Can you tell I'm a member of the Spring Appreciation Society? That's a beauty. A little bit of e-waste. The base was weighed down by this decent ring of cast iron. That's an awesome piece, really, for a lamp like this. Most of the weight of the lamp was in that. So that'll go on my heavy melt steel. There's a bit of cast aluminium. There's a bolt that held the base together. It took a bit to unscrew from one of those brackets, so I ended up bending that. It didn't matter. It'll go in the shred. Well, not the shred. That'll go in my heavy melt steel with the cast iron, actually. And a little switch mode power supply, which I hang on to some of these every now and again because I do some repairs on them at times, and sometimes I'm looking for parts, so no real value there, otherwise probably just e-waste. So not much really, probably nothing to write down here, but we will salvage most of it. And now while we're in scrapping mode, let's get to that grill. That's the only thing we have left to do. Now, what value can we get out of this? Not very much at all. The base is all plastic. The actual foil can be screwed up into a ball, and that, in Australia at least, can actually go in our curbside recycling bin, so they'll claim aluminium back for that. Or you could just throw it in your aluminium bin, because that's what it is. The base is all plastic. The cord is purely just chop the plug off. Actually, the cord looks like it's even been chewed by mice, and it's melted in a few spots, so it's certainly not usable. It's older plug too, it's over 20 years old. There's no sleeves on the pins. So we'll chop that off. We get a little bit more insulated wire for our scrap bins. That little controller can go into our e-waste bucket, and the rest of it can go exactly as it is into our irony aluminium, because the actual griddle part is all cast aluminium. These legs, I thought they might have been stainless, but well, they're not non-magnetic stainless, so they can stay on it. And with the heating element in there, the whole lot can just go in iron aluminium, and it weighs quite a bit. So that's probably the quickest way. Or if you want to try and separate the aluminium, well, yeah, these legs come off easy, the handles come off easy. The challenge is to get the element out, which I'm going to try on a few. I get a lot of these sort of things, and I've got a tool that I want to test, and I think it might be fairly easy to get these elements out and turn them into basically clean cast aluminium. Not going to worry about this time. We'll just put this as irony aluminium. I don't know, I'll weigh it up and I'll make a note in the notepad what it works out at. Won't be a fortune, but better than throwing it into general shred. So that's it. How easy was that to scrap out? And now up onto the deck to look at our spoils for this week. There's not a lot of stuff, but we have saved a fair bit from going to the waste stream. So we've got the scrubber, the heater cleaned up nicely, the radio there, a little bit of hardware. That's just a small pile of rubbish. That stuff can go in the paper recycling bin. We have our irony aluminium there, and I weighed it and it's over 3 kilos for that piece, so I think there's not far off $3, so that's all right. A little bit of basic aluminium, which won't be worth anywhere near that. A little bit of wire, the cast iron pieces. That's all our e-waste to go out to the transfer station. And we have the foot spar and the lidded pan, fry pan, whatever you want to call it. So there we go. That's what we got this week. Let's check out the notepad. So part 28 sees a potential return of $45 and hopefully flip our $2 into 10. Last week has seen some sales. We had a lot of stuff last week. We've sold the diffuser and the blender, or both blenders. We've also sold the cheese knife out of the cutlery and 2 of the bone-handled knives. We didn't have a full weekend in the shop last weekend because we had to close early on Friday. Christine went down to hospital, which most of you will know if you follow her channel. She's back home now though and doing well. The previous week, part 26, we have completely finished except for the couple of things I bought to flip, and I'm wearing the shoes as we speak. So I think we can rule that week off. And then part 25, there's only the sconce light left. I think I'll probably put that in the freeze box for next week. Happy to rule that lot off. Back a bit further, part 24 only has the water bottle left, which isn't even an electrical item. So I'm going to rule that one off as well. Oh, we did sell that sunbeam bowl too. I forgot about that. Haven't sold any scarves yet. We obviously don't have any Hawthorn supporters around at the moment. Certainly been cold enough for them. And part 23, I'm going to rule this one off too, because the only thing we have left is that vintage M-Joy beauty set, which I had marked to 5. It still hasn't sold, so I think that will make that one free as well. So all the e-waste has gone from there too. Well, it's not e-waste. We saved it from being e-waste. I do enjoy ruling off pages. It's very satisfying. Okay, we've achieved another successful week. Not so much stuff this week, but we still saved a very high percentage, so I'm happy with that. I hope you're continuing to enjoy this series. I'm certainly loving it, and YouTube algorithm seems to like it, so I hope that continues. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.